We are talking planes, trains, and automobiles today in the Monetize Your Mission Mastermind. No, wait, I mean category sections and tags. Stick around and learn how to make them work effectively on your Substack account. Welcome to the Monetize Your Mission Mastermind for Thursday, May 28th, 2026. And today, as we mentioned before, we're talking about categories, sections, and tags on Substack, how to make them, what they're about, how they work with your Substack. So I am going to come over here and we're just going to share my screen and go off my list because that way I won't get lost. You guys can all follow along because there's kind of a lot of information that we're going to be talking about here. Um, so just to start with, Substack, um, we want to build our Substack in a way that helps people move kind of along a process. And it's also, you can have Substack show up in Google search and also in AI. They're scanning what's being created over on Substack and using it as authority content because it's a huge platform and it has a really high page rank, and your content gets squished in with other really authority content creators out there, like news sources and authors and people that political eh, people people that have audiences of their own that they've brought over here, and sometimes influencers from places like TikTok. There was a big hoopla about that a while ago that they didn't want Substack to become another TikTok platform. It's not. It's just totally a different feel, but that you're borrowing authority from other content creators out there. And so what you want to do is set your Substack up in a way that makes it easy for people to understand what it is you're talking about and easy for the algorithm to know what you're talking about, more importantly. So your Substack isn't just another newsletter. It's a newsletter, a publication, but it's also a content library where you gather all of your content in one place. And it's an email list, it's a search engine asset, it's a client attraction system, and it's a community pathway. So you can move people from your Substack to deliver what you're offering in your Substack community or just make sales, wherever it is that you're making your sales. So when we talk about categories are the biggest umbrella under which you're going to niche down into whatever your topics are. So when you're setting up your Substack, I I talk to a lot of people about they they're multi-passionate. We're all multi-passionate because we're human beings and we're not like one flat, the old Egyptian characters that used to just be flat people. Um, we're round people. Some of us rounder than others, but we want to be able to share all aspects of our lives and our businesses, and we can do it on Substack so long as it fits under a general category. And for a lot of this, us is going to be faith and spirituality, but others it might be health and wellness or culture or even business or finance or education. Um, I made a list of all of the categories that we have to choose from over on Substack. But when you're picking your categories and you get to pick two, you get a primary one and a secondary one. And from that, you're going to want to make sure that everything that you're doing on your Substack fits under that umbrella as much as possible. So mine are, I believe, faith and spirituality, and it's either business or education. It's probably education because it's not as big of a it's not highly ranked as far as popularity goes. So I'm more likely to get found if somebody looks under um business or yeah, under education than I am if they look under business because there's lots of people that under the business category. But everything that I do fits into that category. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So these are the categories. There's health and politics, crypto, news, faith and spirituality, health and wellness, culture, world politics, US politics, business, technology, finance, education, science, philosophy, parenting, food and drink, travel, history, literature, music, art and illustration, design, fashion and beauty, sports, humor, fiction, comics, climate and environment, and international. So as I just talked about before, the biggest category is not always the best category to be in. Sometimes broad is really crowded and you want to be a little bit more niche down, but you don't want to be so niche down that you can't be the whole person in the category. So you want it to be high enough so that your sections will fit in there nicely, but low enough so that they're touching, right? Okay. So, like for spiritual entrepreneurs, a publication might do better in faith and spirituality and business or education than trying to compete in a giant category like lifestyle. So, do you guys have you all created your categories yet? Do you know what categories you're in? Do you want to unmute and share?
I think if I remember, I placed mine under health and wellness, and then the sub underneath that was education.
Okay.
Okay.
I couldn't see me fitting in anywhere else, really.
Yeah, I think that that fits really well for what you're talking about.
I mean, this
Um,
is also part of the piece in terms of attacking,
yeah.
infrastructure.
How about you, Michael? Because you've got a lot of background noise. So we'll do you next and then.
Meant to have a deterrent effect.
Okay.
This is what happens to you if you are.
Okay, I'm ready now.
Okay, are you in which categories are you in?
I'm in inspiration, self-help, personal growth, and spirituality.
Um, so the main categories for your Substack publication, do you think you're in faith and spirituality?
Inspiration,
Inspiration isn't one of the choices.
that's okay. Okay, poetry, definitely poetry.
Okay, so you got faith and spirituality and probably culture would be
Yes,
your two
definitely.
categories.
That's correct.
Okay. And you, Tracy?
I'm in faith and spirituality and education.
Okay, perfect. How about you, Sam? Are you in a place where you can talk?
I'm in education too. I'm in education too as well.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna assume that Sam is not in a place where she can talk and will, if you get to a place where you can talk, Sam, just, oh, there.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi.
You can hear me. Hi. Sorry, I've just quickly popped in because I saw it on the I'm new to the group, so I've only just seen this. I'm in business and fiction, which is a bit odd, I know, probably, but business because that's my new thing, and
Uh-huh.
fiction because I talk a lot about my books and things. So
I'm in
yeah.
philosophy as well.
Okay. Um, Philosophy is a good category to be in, and fiction is a good category to be in, Sam, because I would put it fiction and then business, because business is the bigger, broader thing that there's lots of people in that category, whereas there's not so many in fiction. And the reason for saying this, we have another community member, Allie Gatelin. She's from the Writers Village, and she was ranking in philosophy like really high for a while. And it's because there's not a lot of competition in there, and so she was getting a lot of new subscribers because she was so high up in that category. So that's kind of why the category piece is an important bit, and you're going to want to remember this list. I'll put this in the classroom when I post the Monetize Your Mission Mastermind. And so you can see the list, because we're going to come back to this when we do tags. Okay. So let's talk about sections next, which are the next tier down. And our publications are like newspapers used to be in the old days. There were lots of different sections, but they were all about what's happening in the world, in our local communities, in our social circles, in sports, in humor. I mean, those are all sections. And that's how we are going to set up our Substack publication. We're going to use sections to let people know the different angles that we are presenting under that bigger umbrella. So if you're in education, and then if you're in um spirituality, if you're in uh whatever category you're in, you're going to want to make sure that your sections fit in with that too. And you can have between 5 and 7 sections. And we like to think of them as rooms inside your house or departments inside your business, or content buckets. I usually go with content buckets, because then it makes creating content on a schedule easier. So you'll know that if you have 5 sections, you're going to rotate between the sections, and you're going to have at least 5 articles or posts in each of the sections so that it fills it out nicely. And you can continue growing the sections um, with content. But it's like in the old days when we were doing blogs, we would what they call silo stuff, and we used categories to silo it. You had a big theme for your blog, and then you had silos where you created content. Sections, the way sections are set up on Substack, sections are subscribable. Like, people can subscribe to just sections of your publication and not the whole publication. And you, in turn, can just subscribe to sections of people's publications, not the whole thing. So it's important that you recognize that when you're setting these up. It helps people find that piece of content that they're really attracted to you about, um, instead of having to like find the articles. Like, if you just put everything in one area, that you're talking about your latest book, you're talking about your podcast episode, you're talking about your live, you're talking about um, something totally unrelated, but still part of who you are and really part of your business, or you're making it a launch or an offer, and then they're trying to find this, sort through, just like everything is thrown in the one big box. What we want to do is put little sections in our junk drawer. Not to call your publication a junk drawer, but just in our analogy, if you have little separators in there, then, if you're looking for spoons, you know where the spoons are in the spoon section. If you're looking for knives, they're in the knife section, instead of like digging through all of the stuff. It helps keep your publication organized, and most importantly, it helps that algorithm understand how you're organizing your content. Sections have their own page on your publication as well. If you've got a podcast out there and you're using Substack with your podcast, you'll notice that there's a link that goes to that section. And so all your podcast episodes are on that page. And then if you have a different section that's your latest content, that goes on a different page. But if you've broken that latest content into other sections, it'll have its own page so they can just go there and look at that stuff instead of, like I said, all of the other content that's on there. I am going to share my screen with you and show you um, how to create sections. And you're going to go to your dashboard, and you can get to your dashboard by going to substack.com, and right above your profile link, there's the dashboard link. You just click that. And then you're going to go down to settings, and you're going to click on, see underneath content, you're going to click on sections. And we will cover this in more detail in the Substack Setup Intensive, but I just want you to know where you can find it. And when we go through the intensive, I'll show you how to set this up and how to add podcasts in here as well. Okay, so again, you go to your dashboard, you go to settings, and then you go to sections to find these sections. And in the Substack Setup Intensive, we'll talk about also how to have these sections show up on your newsletter. And I'll show you mine for just a second. These are the latest pieces. And it's repeated again, but this is the podcast. It's just the podcast episodes. This is the Monetize Your Mission Mastermind. This is Amplify and Monetize on Substack. So when people click into this, they're just getting stuff related to amplifying and monetizing on Substack. And then I turned the Monetize Your Mission Mastermind into a podcast itself. So people can hear this on Apple and Spotify, which is why I read out all the categories for you. Okay, so back to our list. Does anybody have any questions about category or sections while we're there? Okay.
Sorry, I
Cisco.
don't know where the where the hand was. I just want to ask, when you set up sections, when you're creating an article or a podcast or whatever, is there a place where you actually say where in what section this is going to be posted?
Yes.
So once you've got sections, you can actually have that.
Yeah, here, I'll just show you. We'll edit this. This is a post I did yesterday. See right up here,
Oh, there.
that is where you're going to
Okay.
pick. Okay.
Okay.
And there's
'Cause
another
I don't
spot
have, yeah, okay.
over in settings that this post belongs in.
Oh,
And so you double check over
okay.
here too. And then we'll be talking about tags here in just a second. But yeah. Answer your question?
Okay, thank you. Yes.
All right. Any other questions I can answer? Yes, no? Okay. So now we're going to move on to we're going to move on to tags. Let me just make sure that, yep, cover that. Good sections, organize your expertise, create content pathways, separate podcast interviews from core teaching, improve binge reading, help monetization. Bad uses of sections would include random hobbies, disconnected niches, too many sections, overlapping topics. You want to be really clear in your sections. You want them to be you want to define how you want that content to appear to your readers. And so the recommended number of sections is at least 3, but probably no more than 7. You can actually have 10 sections on your homepage, but those are, I call them sections, but it includes those banners, the subscribe banners that you can also put in. So you can have 10 pieces of either posts or banners on the front page. Okay, so now let's talk about tags and how tags work into this whole equation. Tags create pages on your Substack network. Substack is more like a blog than just an email marketing service. You know, if you have an email marketing service, you're generally just having, go ahead, Tracy.
Sorry, I had a question on the not the categories, the sections. Can you delete those?
Yes.
Okay.
If you don't have content in them, I think is the biggest problem.
Okay.
But if you go and move all of the content that's in that section into a different section, then you should be able to delete it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so you don't want to have a bazillion tags because, well, let me back up for a second. When you create a Substack publication, you're creating a network. It is like having a little website on somebody else's platform, in this case, Substack. And it provides a whole bunch of tools for you to use. And so with those tools, you're going to, I'm sorry, Michael, can I ask you not to move your finger across the screen because it's super distracting and I keep losing my train of thought. So when you're creating your Substack publication, it creates pages underneath your main page. So when we send people to Substack, we generally send them to our home page, which would be like the home page of our blog or our website. And then we have a menu on the top, a menu bar, and you can set it up so there's drop downs on your menu bar now. This is really pretty new. And again, in the Substack Setup Intensive, I'll show you how to do that. We don't really have the space to do it right now. But on top of that, every time you create a post, it creates a page where the post lives. And then you're going to create if you tag it, and put it in a section, it's going to create a place where it lives on the section page as well as on the tag pages that you assign it to. And do you remember how I said, remember the categories? They're going to play into how we tag things. Usually I like to stick to 2 or 3 tags per post and then 1 category tag. Use the categories as a tag to help reinforce where this content belongs in the ecostructure of your publication. Is all of this making sense to you guys? Okay. All right. So we like to think of tags as keywords, indexing tools, and topic labels. So they help with search visibility, content organization, AI discovery, related content grouping, and internal recommendations. So what you want to do is, do you remember, here, I'm going to go back over here to this. You want to have tags for everything that you create. And you can use tags as a way to group posts together on your homepage when we get into editing your theme. So that's another use of tags. But tags it can pull content from different sections into a related space. I'm trying to come up with an analogy for you or an idea for you about tags, but um, well, I can give you a good example with this. This has business marketing and how to start a business because that's the content of this podcast interview that I did with Fran Tabor. But I also will sometimes do business and starting a business related subjects in the Monetize Your Mission Mastermind or in Amplify and Monetize. And so I could that content instead of just showing up on those section pages will show up on the how to start a business page. They're from different sections, but they're related to how to start a business. It's best, and I admit I'm my tags are kind of messy right now because I didn't understand this process when I was first setting up Substack, which is again why I really encourage people to go through the Substack setup intensive. Because if you set this stuff up right from the beginning, it makes everything else so much easier. So when you're creating your tags, and you can create new tags if you want just by typing them in, see how it starts to create, and you just click this to create the tag. You don't really want to have a whole lot of tags, and you want your tags to be written in such a way that people might search for them because again they're keywords and they could answer questions. They could be how people would want to find that particular topic because again everything is searchable on Substack. You just go to the Substack homepage and you click search and you can explore stuff by typing in search Substack. So give me a topic, somebody. Unmute yourself. Give me a topic.
Overthinking.
Overthinking. Okay. Thank you. All right. So we got notes of an overthinking girl. We have a publication, Overthinking Everything, another one, Overthinking Everything. I'm just going to click on this one. I don't know who this person is. I'm hopefully going to get over to their publication. I'm wondering if I click into this, if I can see the tags. Do you see what I did right there? You don't want people doing that to your posts. And the reason that I did that is because there's no breaks in this. It's just one big long wall of text. Don't do this to your people. And you might want to stick some of your breaks in here, like your H2 tags, to be your tags, the tags that you're going to use in your post. It's probably better if you consider before you create content, consider what section you're going to use in your tags, which section on your publication you want the content to go into, and what 3 tags you're going to use in addition to that category. And then create your content from there, and then sprinkle those tags into your title tags. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Okay, so questions on tags. No questions? Do you have lots of tags on your content already?
I think I might have misunderstood the tags. And can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I just thought it was a bit like hashtags on Instagram. And so I've got things like just creativity, mindset, personal growth, that sort of thing. So I don't know. I wasn't really thinking. I've only got 2 posts so far,
Mhm.
so time to rectify this.
You're,
Yeah,
you're early and it's great.
I'm the same. I also have only 1 or 2 word things like emotional clarity or something like that. And I have already quite a few. So mine is a little bit of a mess, which comes to the next part is I'm sure you can edit them and delete them and rearrange them now before there's too much posts.
Yes, you can. And what you're gonna have to do is go into each post that you
Mm.
have and then edit the tags. And then if you want to get rid of those tags, it's like the sections. You have to make sure there aren't any tags in there anymore, and then you can delete
Mm.
it. It might just be better to leave what's there, maybe find some other content that fits in those tags so that the page isn't like super empty. Like it, this was my problem. This is really like a lot of the reason we're having this conversation is I understand because I thought they were hashtags too. And I totally didn't get
Yeah.
notes for the longest time, like 2 years. And because there was notes and chats, it's like, and then DMs, I was like so confused. But I figured it out, and I'm here to share with you now. So with the tags, it's fixable. And like I said, I have lots of tag pages that only have one post on it. It's okay. Just going forward, try to keep it down. And another part of how this helps you is that if you're really good at keeping them tight, you're going to be able to help the algorithm understand that, hey, they talk about these topics and they're connected in these ways, but really they're it's very robust. And as you create more and more content and you fill out your sections more and more, if you only have maybe a dozen or so tags, those pages get really full too. And so it looks you're you're squishing less content into a smaller container, so it looks fuller, which is what we want to do. Okay, so here's an example of a publication, category, sections, and tags. And this is totally just random. It's not an actual Substack that I know of. So Substack secrets for soul-led podcasters. It's in the category business and faith and spirituality. I would do faith and spirituality first because it's a smaller category and then business. You want the smallest category on top and the bigger category kind of underneath. It sounds weird, but it works better that way. So the sections would be podcasting, visibility, monetization, and note strategy. I think that AI was trying to like mimic me, but that's not what I do. Um, and then the tags would be Substack growth, podcast marketing, visibility strategy, spiritual entrepreneur, audience growth, email marketing, note strategy, client attraction. I would 2 words is okay, but you can make them even more long tail. And keywords for it works kind of the same as finding keywords for blog posts in the old days. If you go to AI and you start like Google and you start typing in whatever your keyword is that you're or main topic that you're covering and whatever you're posting about, and then let it fill in. Is this making sense here? I can just show you. Let's go to Google. Google.com. And then we're going to type in overthinking. See how it comes up with all of these things? So overthinking, quotes. And then we got more long tail. So overthinking, quotes, positive, relationships, sad overthinking, funny overthinking, overthinking good quotes. Why do I overthink quotes? Overthinking quotes in English. These are all things people are actually looking for. And let's do this one. AI will give you AI gives you stuff now, and you want to get found in this. You want to get quoted in this as much as possible. And see how this stuff comes up over here on the side? Those are related posts. Those are posts that Google thinks are really relevant right now. To that question that was asked. I don't know that it used to tell us how many pages there were, but I think there's so many pages now that they gave up on that. It's interesting to me that Pinterest shows up here on top. And then you've actually got some good, not super big platforms showing up here. These are also good places to find keywords, and you can put, I realize we're using a weird thing right now, but you can take the people also search for things over here and use those as your actual tags in your posts when you're constructing your posts. It's a little bit more work to do this, but in the long run, excuse me, it'll help your posts do better in the search engines. And as you get more found over in the search engines, Substack is like, oh, these people, they kind of know what they're doing. And we're gonna surface their content a little more often. And also being a paid publication, I believe, and this is just my opinion, but I believe that really does help you in the algorithms, mainly because that's how Substack makes its money. And they want people to be able to subscribe and pay you money so they can make money. So it's in their best interest to surface your content. And every time you post something on Substack, yes, it goes out to your subscribers, but it also goes out on the app and it goes out as a note on your content. So it's important that you're giving Substack reasons to put you out and make it as easy as possible for them to find people that would possibly subscribe to what you're offering. So they pay you and you pay Substack, and Substack loves that. All right. So the best use of tags is to use 2 to 5 tags per post. Repeat strategic tags consistently. Use searchable language and phrases your audience actually looks for. So if your audience or your ideal clients or your people say things in a certain way, like Tracy, your people spell magic, MAGICK.
Yes.
And they look for magic written that way. So that's a tag. You know, it just it's a way to filter people out, but also draw people in. The right people in, the wrong people out. And none of us is for everyone, so this is a good thing to filter out the people that are just going to take up space. Mistakes people make with tags is they use different wording every time. They have a bazillion tags that all have like one post underneath them. They have overly broad tags, no consistency, too many tags, and irrelevant tags. So as much as possible, try to keep your tags down to about 10 for your whole publication. So we're like, as you get more content out there, I can imagine that your tag list could grow, but what you want to do is be filling up those pages as quickly as possible. The first page you work on filling up is your home page. And then you have sections and you fill up your sections and then you fill up your tags. Well, you're filling up your tags as you're filling up those other two. Substack is becoming more searchable. It's AI indexed. It's more recommendation driven. People will recommend your publication to other publications. And so structure really does matter more now than ever. Creators that are winning are creators that organize intentionally, create clear pathways, build libraries, not timelines. You want sections to be like your library of content in each section so people can binge those sections or get to the place that they really want to be in your publication. Categories help people find you, sections help people understand you, and tags help people navigate to you. Does that sit with everybody? Okay, so the real goal is not just getting subscribers. I know lots of stories of people with 10,000 subscribers on Substack and they're making $0. It happens all the time. It's not about having a big list of subscribers over there. It's about having engaged readers and people that really want to be in your world. They'll read your content, they'll buy your stuff, and they'll comment and share your content because they want other people to discover you too. So the goal is building a publication people stay inside. So let's kind of go through this group of questions. And you can share out loud, you can unmute yourselves, and we'll just have a little chat here for the next 15 minutes. But are your sections clear? Do you feel like your sections are clear on your Substack now? Or that you can tighten them up and make them clear?
I haven't actually added sections yet.
Okay.
So that would be my job now. Thank you very much.
Show up anytime and I'll give you homework. Could a stranger understand what you do in 10 seconds? If somebody scrolls over to your Substack like I did, and they just kind of wander through it, are they going to know what you do, what you're about?
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody else feeling like they're good with that?
I feel like
Yeah.
as I'm making sort of a shift in my focus, that they're not going to be applying anymore, but I have to sort of finalize that shift before I know what to do. I've changed my sections, well, at least once, because I was using the word folkloring, which is not something that people are looking for. And so I moved it over to folklore. And I also think like one of my sections is mind over magic, but I think that maybe I should just change that to magic.
Yeah, you could do that. And you have a whole group of things that you're working on right now. So I
I know.
hesitate to have like a much more in-depth conversation about what you're doing because I think you're kind of wandering into the beginning of it at the moment.
Mhm.
It's getting clearer.
Yeah, and I mean that piece needs to be done before the rest of it. So
Yes, for sure. Okay, are your t tags strategic or random like mine were?
Totally random. So that's for me one thing I would need to clear up and also maybe think of the sections to add, definitely.
And working the tags and the sections kind of together so
mm,
that they're like
They work.
yeah, they work.
Yeah.
Okay, is your
I
public
I
go ahead.
sorry, I just want to ask, I couldn't find where on Substack you talking about your tags are creating pages on your publication,
Mhm.
and I can't find it on my publication where it shows the tags. Where
Um,
do you see that?
I'll show you where you can find them. Hold on just a second. You go to settings.
Yes, I know where they are under settings.
Well, I'm going to show you where the page is, and you find them under the settings.
Okay, so but I see them there and I can actually click on them and then it opens up the page with that particular with everything connected to that. But is
Mhm.
that the same as what a user landing on your publication would see? Or that's what
Um,
it's not for me to see because I can see where they're created. I'm thinking, where does
it
the outside user that lands on this publication, where do they see that?
I think that if they went and well, that's spelled wrong.
Mhm.
Fortunately, there's only one thing on there. I'm pretty sure that if you go to um I don't know. It, it's possible that it shows up in the search engines. I know that it becomes a searchable piece of content. It's not so much about having it on your
On your publication, it doesn't show there. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, and I have to edit this now that I ABSOL.
Okay. I just went from my private account onto my publication and I don't see it specifically there. So maybe it is just in the back end, where it's maybe in Google or on Substack in the back end.
Um, you can add it to your navigation bar. And if you only have like 12 of
Oh,
them, you could have your sections across your navigation bar and then just have drop
okay.
downs to those sections. Just like I have this.
Okay. Um,
So
uh,
you could have your you could have a
but
category that's just tags and then under each you could have all the tagged pages under that labeled.
But would you want to do that? That's what I'm asking. Because if you have sections on your publication, that's already kind of categorizing your content. So the people would be able to, um, see what they need to see. I don't see a place where I could um,
It doesn't
show
not
tags
everything
where it will
makes
make sense. Yeah.
not everything makes sense to for everybody's publication. one of the beauties of this space is that it's so robust that just because you can do something doesn't necessarily mean you should do something. And so in your case, I would say then, the tags are just going to be SEO for you on the back end in Google and in AI, and it will help the algorithm understand what you're doing, and all the more reason to have fewer tags, but categorize your stuff by tags, and you can have them, that one article that's in whatever your section is can be in 3 other tags that are in that have content from all the sections as well.
Yeah. At the moment, there's not so many, I don't have so many, my content's only starting, so it doesn't make sense now. But I can see that if you start from the beginning, tagging your content properly, that as your publication grows, that you might want to add something like that to your menu or at the top, and then it's already, done properly, if you start from the beginning to tag them properly. So maybe further down the line, if I wanted to add it, then it would already be organized. Yeah.
Yes, and also as you're thinking about creating the tags that you want to use, you have your 3 or 4 sections, but you can also have an area, a space like this that's created off of your tags. It'll like in fact, I think I'm pretty sure that Monetize Your Mission Mastermind, this is a tag. It's not a section.
A tag. Okay.
So I created this part of my homepage because I have all of these tagged Monetize Your Mission Mastermind. Okay.
It makes sense.
Just keep that in mind as you're creating tags, and as you're thinking about how you want your publication, your homepage to look going forward. You can also pin posts to your homepage and change them out. Like a lot of publications will have a start here post, and then all their other content falls kind of around it. And then you have this sidebar here that you can add outside links to, as well as adding outside links to your menu bar at the top.
That sidebar, adding outside links, can you only do that when you activate or start using sections?
You can only do that when you have a recent post block in your theme setting, and it's got to be set up so that it's all off to the left. And then this will show up. I'll show you tomorrow how to do this, where to put this stuff.
Okay, because I think I have that recent postings, but I don't know how to create things there on the sidebar. So
I'm going to show you tomorrow.
I'll ask you again tomorrow. Okay. Okay, cool.
Definitely do
Thank
that.
you.
Anything else I can answer for you while we're chatting? Anybody else have any other questions that I can answer for them about categories, tags, and sections? Sam, are you feeling overwhelmed?
A little
I was
bit.
curious.
Sorry, have I just overspoken someone?
Right,
Sorry,
I think you're good.
A little bit overwhelmed, but only because, yeah, I'm really new to it. I've been on the Substack for about 2 weeks, so I've not done very much. But where you have got all these at the top of your page, the U World Order, that's where I've got my banner, thinking into action, but my headings are home, notes, archive, and about. Is that because I haven't set any categories?
Yes, and you can pick what shows up here.
Oh, okay.
And I show you how to do that tomorrow in the Substack
Okay.
setup
All right.
intensive.
Right, thank you. Sorry. Okay, that was all my only question, really. Thank you.
You're good. Michael, did you have a question?
Yes. I did a little something new on my Substack already for my
Mhm.
Substack bio. So I updated it just
Mhm.
moments ago. And so everything is set up already. But I was wondering about the tags because I don't see any tags on my Substack, so I don't know what to do about that.
You're going to create them, but
Oh, I see.
again, you need to give some thought to what categories you're in and then which sections you want around those under those categories, and then where those categories all or those sections all intersect, those would be tags, and you only want about 12 of them.
Oh, how do I find them exactly? Because I don't know where to put them.
Well, when you create your post,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to go over to the settings part,
Okay.
and then in there it'll ask you what section you want it in. Here, hold on just a second. I'll show you on mine. Oh, let's just go edit this one again.
Okay. Yeah. So on here it says either write an article or go live. So those are the only two options.
You could write an article, and then when you write that article, if you've got sections set up, then you pick the section, and then over on the lower right-hand corner, you've got a thing that says settings. So you go over there to the settings, and then you want to make sure that your audience is everyone, and you
Right.
allow comments from everyone, and then that it's in the right section. And then this is where you add tags. And the way you create a tag is,
노래자랑 가족 여러분 그리고 또 해외에서
see how I typed create a tag in here,
삼촌, 고모, 이모,
and
조카
then
우리의
it
소중한
says create
아들, 딸
create a
여러분
tag.
안녕하셨습니까? 또 오늘 이렇게 꼬치 해양공원을 찾으신
You
많은
just
국민
click that
여러분,
and it will
관광객
create the
여러분, 또
tag.
팬클럽 여러분.
Okay. There's no tag for this portion on my settings option, so I don't know what to do about that.
As you're inside creating a post.
Exactly.
이루어진 태안반도에 위치한
Did you ever get your
되겠습니다.
publication to go somewhere other than your profile? Were you able to save it as a custom theme?
Yes, I did.
그중에서도
Okay, so
대표적인 관광지죠. 안면도
what is your publication? The first part of it again?
You can look me up, Michael Teferi.
파도리 해수욕장이 있죠. 이 바다에 식힌 작은 돌들이 가득
Substack.
해안을 이루고 있고요. 또 영목한 전망대가 있죠. 22층 규모의 이 멋진 곳에서 이 찐 낙조와 함께 바다를 관람할 수가 있고요. 여러 가지 이 편의시설이 잘 갖추어진 곳이 되겠습니다. 또한 해안 국가 축제 아주 유명합니다.
I'll place it in the chat.
이
Okay. Michael.
찾아주시기 바라겠습니다. 자, 이런 아름다운
How do you spell? Oh, there we are.
That's me.
첫 번째 무대는 원조 한류 가수. 가요계로 치자면 문화유산이 아닌가.
This is the first one.
김연자 씨 모시겠습니다.
Yeah, I have to move the thing.
Okay.
A second. All right, and then we wanted to be able to click this and go to your Substack.
That's where it is.
Yeah, no, it's not. Well, it is now, but you need to go over to dashboard like we were doing yesterday, and you need to change the website setting under the website theme from profile to custom, and you need to get it to stick, because I remember yesterday it wasn't sticking for you.
I have to find out how to do that because I don't know how to do it.
if you come, either join the Substack Setup Intensive tomorrow,
Okay, will do.
or come on Wednesday and we'll come on whatever device you can share your screen on, and we'll walk you through it.
Thank you so much. I look forward to it.
Okay. Hey, Kelly. All right. Siska, do you have any other questions before we go? Are we all good? Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow at the Substack Setup Intensive. And if you're not a premium member, you can become a premium member over on school.com/u-world-order. And if you would rather just come in as a la carte for the Substack Setup Intensive, you can do that by going to heartlifecoach.com/Substack-intensive. We'll see you then, and we'll see you next week when we're going to be talking about going live, the ins and outs. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for joining me.
Thanks, Joe. Much appreciated.
Bye now.